Oh, the stuff about like who you're attracted to. I really do believe that with trans women especially. There are so many. I know a lot of trans women, lovely, beautiful people, all of them. Um, some of them pass and some of them don't. But there are so many trans women who I think by pretty much anyone's standards are lovely looking people. But if they were cis, like nobody would mind any of the characteristics that they worry make them clockable to other people, you know? Like how many times have you seen transphobes or turfs online start accusing cis women of being trans women because they have like square jaws or they're kind of butch. It's funny, a lot of turfs are themselves butch lesbians, so it's weird that they would do that. You know, like, I'll see like a cis woman's profile picture getting posted, and like many women, she has a squarish jaw or like a slightly thicker neck, I guess, or thinner lips or something. And then the turf will be like, "Nah, you ugly man, you'll never be a woman. You're," meh." And it's like they're literally cis. They're cisgender as you are. Uh, uh, so they'll do this all the time, and these characteristics wouldn't bother anybody else. You know, if it wasn't for the transphobia, no, they wouldn't be minding. So again, with like a lot of trans women, they get really hung up on characteristics when I mean they're very pretty. So like why you understand what I'm saying, right? Like being tall, you know? I see this really weird dichotomy where trans women are made fun of for being tall often, you know, like, oh, you're colossal, you'll never pass, blah blah. I see that, but guys fetishize the fuck out of tall cisgender women. And tall women are used in runway models, literally like the art world ideal of feminine beauty is like a 5'10" woman at least. And people are all about like, yeah, big, strong, tall women. Now, mind you, okay, most trans women are not by any means big or strong. They are comically weak. Uh hilariously weak, you know, physically, because they're literally taking chemicals that destroy their body's ability to derive muscular strength. So, yeah, don't expect too much of that, but um yeah, it's so they'll idealize like cisgender height in women and then they'll mock trans women's height. Likewise, and again, not to be weird about this or anything, but with regards to women having penises, okay? Fuda porn is really popular online, okay? But you have to understand that in hentai or wherever else it is, Fuda women aren't trans women. Usually in porn that has women with penises, I mean hentai or like 3D stuff, just anything art wise, because of course, when a woman has a penis in live action porn, it usually is a trans woman. Um, but with the art, they're not trans women; they're just women with penises. You understand what I mean? Almost like they're a different sex. They always go by she, her, and they always are completely woman from bottom to top, but they have penises. Sometimes they even yeah, like a mermaid, like it's some separate, like third uncommon sexual like you know what I mean? But so the weird thing is, like, even in sexual fantasies where mostly straight men are getting off on women with penises, they can't be trans women because that makes them fake. They have to be real women. But the real women that they are is literally like a third sex that also isn't what the other women are. It's it's like a three-part equation where you have men who all have penises, and then there are two types of women, some of whom just have vaginas and some of whom have penises, you know? Do you understand what I'm getting at here? Like they're doing everything they can to make trans women without making them trans women. Like literally. oh, it's another type of woman. It's not the same as women with vaginas or cis women, but they're still women, they just have penises. Like, this is analogous, but they still aren't trans women. I actually can't think of a single hentai doujin I've ever read that was no, no, okay, no, that's not true. There are at least a few. There are a few where it's explicitly trans women, but overwhelmingly that's not the case. Overwhelmingly, they're just like some other type of woman that's not trans woman. They were never men. There's some other type. So anyway, the point that I'm getting at is that there's this effort to fetishize the characteristics people mock trans women for without actually making it trans women. But if it's a trans woman, people like mock them for it. It's really, really weird. It seems to me like a lot of the disconcertation with trans women is the they were once men thing, which, to be honest, I don't really get. Um, because in my experience, and this is very much a product of the friend groups that I've had, a lot of trans women kind of act like the cool chicks that most young guys wished women were like while growing up. I know that when I was a young man, I wished that women were like edgy, casually funny, liked playing video games, into tech stuff, and a lot of women aren't because of their socialization. And without being weird, because of how a lot of trans women are socialized in their youth, you meet these 20-something trans girls, and they are just it seems like they're basically on point with all of the desired characteristics personality wise, you know? There's a hand. What about my hand? This hand? What? You understand what I mean, right? Please tell me you understand what I'm talking about, because in lieu of audience approval here, this is going to be interpreted as transphobia, and I swear to God that is not what I'm trying to deliver to you at the moment. I mean, that wasn't that for ages like the stereotype of the cool girl. This is going to be horribly clipped out of context, but you need to understand what I'm saying. One of the guys, like, yeah, she's a woman, but she's like one of the guys where she likes these cool things and likes these cool things and yeah, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? No, I'm saying that trans women are guys because they're not, they're women. I'm just saying that a lot of the behavior I've noticed from trans women seems to align with stereotypes I desired in women while growing up. So, with all of that said, I guess I just don't understand. Is it really for a lot of people like I can't stand the idea that she was like born a boy? Maybe me being pan just makes that seem fundamentally absurd. Somebody in my DMs wants to debate that transgenderism is delusional LARPing. Ugh. I wouldn't mind an out and about transphobe. Can you send them my way? No promises, but send them my way. But you understand. And look, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, okay? While I am really attracted to femininity, I hate what female socialization does to people. Because a lot of female socialization seems to be oriented around slut shaming, be demure, be submissive, don't let your personality shine through too much because it'll intimidate men. Like, that's the female socialization that I see in a lot of people. I'm not saying this is ubiquitous or anything, but I don't like these characteristics. I do like people who are loud, edgy, evocative, opinionated, and that tends to correlate more to male socialization growing up. But I don't like men that much because a lot of men are obnoxious, machismo dripping, hairy apes. And I'm not into that. So again, this might be entirely a product of pansexual bias here. It really just seems like a lot of young, edgy gamer incel types, if they could put aside the weird transphobia for just a second, would probably find that maybe they could try to be benevolent chasers or something. Don't do that. I don't know. Maybe they could reassess their perspective on this somewhat. But they shouldn't be chasers. They shouldn't do that. But how are you supposed to fix that? I can't get over my social anxiety. I can't really recommend any getting over female socialization because I never really had it. And I haven't had social anxiety either, so. What's the difference between a chaser and just liking someone? Well, as I understand it, a chaser is a person who doesn't just like... First of all, I just want to say, I don't think you're a chaser if you like trans women. I don't think you're a chaser if you like trans women more than cis women. I don't think that makes you a chaser. I mean, wouldn't that be weird? Like, that it's bad to like trans women more than cis women? Because plenty of people like cis women more than trans women, so it'd be weird if it was bad for the other way around. What I understand it to be is that a chaser is a person who fetishizes transness to the extent that it becomes damaging, objectifying, harmful, or dehumanizing. It's not just that they like trans women, it's that they might like be really weird, creepy, and invasive about a trans woman with a penis, or get upset with a trans woman for getting bottom surgery because then an element of what they like about the trans woman has been destroyed or removed or something. Or they might hyperfixate on sexual elements of a trans woman that the trans woman themselves doesn't like so much. Like, there are a lot of trans women who really don't like their dicks being regarded to or anything. They just don't like it, you know? And there are trans women who will just are totally fine. They'll just fuck people, you know? But if you're a trans woman who just does not like having a dick, and somebody's like, "Oh my god, you're a dick girl. You're so hot. Oh my god, your sausage is so..." Like that would be like chaser behavior, you know, because you're fetishizing it to a degree. Now, of course, if the trans woman is super into that, and this is all negotiated consensually, then go fucking have fun. But it's a way of describing a type of predator of trans, mostly trans women. Would somebody who only dates trans women be a chaser by definition? No, I don't think so. Again, I'm not a trans woman. I am logistically about as far away from one. Trans women care very much about being women, and I don't care about gender, and I'm also a man. So I'm very far away from them on the spectrum of whatever, but I don't think that's bad, you know? As long as you're not weird. What do you call a good chaser? Well, I think that's kind of anathemic, right? Because chaser is like a bad sort of sexual objectifier.